This meeting is being live streamed. I think it is. Okay, I bought some new pens just a few hours ago. Let me just check to see if this is actually being live streamed. And I believe it is because I can see myself. Awesome. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. The mic is really, really powerful. Okay. Hold on. Oh, okay. So this is pretty good. This is pretty good. So I could actually sit back and talk to you like this. I'm just gonna say one thing, and that is the chat is live, my friends. So if you would like to leave any questions, this is Q&A Fridays. My name is Nandini, and welcome to Figuring It Out Live. If this is your first time, if you're finding me through this live stream, but if not, I make lots of videos on mental health, on authentic living, goal setting, even finances. So you're definitely welcome to join the channel and the journey. It's free to subscribe, so go ahead and do that. So, Q&A Fridays, this is going to be much more like a story time, okay? The story time today. Is it juicy? Kinda. Kinda. It's more spicy than it is juicy. And by spicy, I don't really mean like, ooh, sexy. No, I just mean, ugh. Ugh. Okay, let me just tell you what happened. So, something I want to start announcing, and I'm going to announce it for the first time today, is I am going to be launching a new program called How to Be a Rock Star on Zoom and Attract, Magnetize Paying Clients. Okay, so this is something that's going to be launched probably in September. So I will be doing a few webinars to give you more information on it, to give you lots of helpful tips, as well as, laser focus and coach you guys. Anyone who is interested in that, please comment below, and soon I will have some sign up sheets and things like that available for that. So, one of the key things about being very dynamic and being very sort of magnetic on a platform like Zoom or any other online space, whether it's Google Meets that you use or WebEx that you use, there's so many such online platforms. If you want to be running a good webinar, if you want to be attracting paid clients, it's very important for you to show up with that kind of energy, right? And show up with that kind of energy no matter where you are, even if you're a student, even if you're like just a participant. Show up fully engaged, be a person of and with integrity, and value your time. Be in spaces where you can learn more. So, more information on that. Why am I mentioning that? Because I'm going to be getting some stuff off my chest today. And this is the stuff that only came on to me. It was a new experience I had a couple of days ago, and I was like, oh, let me process this. So, I have a lot of coaches, right? Maybe not a lot of coaches. I know some people have a lot more coaches than I do, many more than I do. But one of my coaches, um, has been also doing a lot of promotional stuff for the thing that he is launching, a paid event that he's got going on. And the things that he is talking about are very, very up my stream. You know, what that means is I'm in absolute alignment with his message at the moment. So every time he has a session, I attend and I attend live. And thankfully, the timing is such that I can make it live, you know? So it has been long, a very long time since I was a shrinking violet. Do you know that phrase, a shrinking violet? That's when you don't really want to ask the questions. You don't really feel like, oh, will I be taking up too much time? Am I allowed to ask this? It seems like a silly question. Oh, I don't really want to raise my hands. No, especially on the online spaces. Teachers, tutors, coaches, we love interaction. We love that stuff. We want the magic of creating in the moment. When you have a really good coach, when you have someone who actually knows what they're talking about, they're an expert in the field and they have a lot of opinions. w- People like us, right? Like him, like me, we thrive on that live interaction. We thrive on the questions that are asked. Last Friday, there were three people who came on this live and asked some questions, and it was such a great, great thing. I can see right now there's only one person watching. Yes, if you want to leave a question, you can. Okay. But yeah, what I'm trying to say here is I was not going to be small or shy, and you know, there's this slightly awkward moment that happens when your trainer, your coach, your mentor, your teacher asks a question live, and especially if it's a good question, it takes a moment for us to sit and think, right? Because we're going from that mode of receiving information to now being asked to share a question about the information, right? And many times, if it's something that we're genuinely learning, questions do pop up, and it's so easy to just go, yes, I had a question, and then I've got a question, right? But other times when you're in the zone and you're flowing with what your teacher, your instructor, your coach, your mentor is saying, many times it's about sort of soaking in that presence, right? It's being in that energy of this person. It's being immersed in this experience. The best the best Zoom sessions or any kind of session you could take, it's an experience. Okay? It's an experience that you are giving. You are going to be giving to your participants. So, I have already set up the premise to the story, right? So, just to recap, there's a coach, and I've been attending quite a few sessions of his over the last month or so. Pretty much every time he shows up, I show up because I love his energy, I gain a lot from it. And in those meetings, I have actually raised my hands and I have asked questions, and I've been immensely, immensely helped. The questions that were asked to me, the advice that was given to me, the slaps of truth the truth that I was slapped with, really, I'll tell you, I just realized this. These Q&A Fridays are because of that coach. One of the things he said is show up every week, do something every single week, be consistent, show up to things like this. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that. It's not hard. Or if it is hard, I'm gonna make it easy by doing it repeatedly, right? So, earlier this week, I was in one of his sessions. And he did that thing where he talked for a little bit and then he said, okay, so I need some responses. Tell me what's going on with you. How are you? Like, are you able to receive what I've just said? Are you he basically left, he just asked, so give me some feedback, guys. Like, are you with me? Are you able to, kind of understand what I'm saying? And there was, you know, that silence that usually follows such a question. And I didn't really see anyone, raise their hand or something. And I'm the kind of participant that, I'm I love to tell people like, yes, I've gained something from this, or yeah, you shifted something for me because I did. I got something from it. So I unmuted myself and I said, hey, coach, yeah, actually, there's something really big that just shifted based on what you said. I've just realized that I need to look at this from this perspective instead of that perspective. And then he was like, Nandini, I've seen you. You've been attending all of these live sessions over the last few weeks. And he said a few things about me or to me. And damn it, it was kind of rude. He was he probably didn't mean to, no, he was aware that it was rude. He acknowledged that what he was saying was really cutting. And as I sat there and I listened to him, one side of me was like, huh? Where did this come from? I said ABC and he's saying XYZ because what he was saying was not relevant to what I had just shared. And like I kept listening to what he said, these cutting statements he was making about me. And I thought to myself, this man doesn't know me. He doesn't know my position. I'm gaining a lot from him. That's what a good student does when there's a good teacher, right? But here I am. I wanted to, give him the feedback that he was looking for. And he was not very graceful about it. So I processed this and I thought to myself, well, how am I feeling about this? Now, I didn't feel good about it, but at the same time, I thought to myself, and he acknowledged this as well. He said he was not tracking me. He was not like I was not one of those clients that we, work one-on-one with each other where he knows what I'm doing and things like that. He acknowledged that. I know that too, very well. So, whatever he said, I could take what I could from it and I could leave if I wanted to. But there was a version of me, maybe a few years ago, I would have just been like, oh, I've clearly offended this person. I've clearly offended this man, and he doesn't really want me in his sessions anymore. A part of what he said was like, he said, I'm fed up with this. I was like, what? Hmm. But this version of Nandini is like, no, these things are free to attend, they're publicly available. I'm still gonna go if I want to go, right? I'm still gonna go, and maybe I won't raise my hand and I won't share because, maybe he doesn't want to hear what I've got to say, and that's perfectly cool. But I'm still gonna receive the information because it's really, really beneficial to me. But this made me come up with this sort of okay, I can't share this page with you. But, after processing it for about 2 days, I realized that the thing that was missing from what he said and the way he delivered it was grace. Okay, grace. Grace is one of these words that it's one of those abstract nouns, right? Grace, to be graceful, to say something with grace, to poise yourself with grace, to express yourself with grace. But what exactly is grace? I am an English teacher, but I'm not going to be turning this into a lesson on semantics or vocabulary. That's not what I want to do. Instead, this is something that I believe is the big missing factor when it comes to number one, living with honesty and integrity while you're interacting with people that you might be having conflicts with. It is grace. A great part of great grace is patience. Grace is a style, isn't it? It's a style. Some people have it, some people just exude it. They're so graceful. And those people are so charming as well, aren't they? It's like it feels like a blessing to be in their presence. Each word that comes from their mouth just feels like, oh my gosh, it's so precious. I'm so grateful and lucky that I have a few people in my life who actually embody grace. So, I've come up with this thing based on the word grace, which is what I believe was sort of missing from my coach's communication style when he gave me this feedback. And I'm going to share this with you. Okay, so if you are going to talk to someone or respond to someone, and it's something, you're responding to a person or you're responding to their story, their behavior. Sometimes you have a friend who's just full of problems and they're just every day it's a new problem or it's the same old problem again and again and again. And like, how do you respond to that with grace? Because the most graceful people I know, they are not BSers. They're not full of bull crap. They're honest, but they're just very elegant about it. And it's because of their grace that we're much more likely to listen to them, hear them, and receive what they're trying to say, right? It's a very, very common thing in communication training. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. So here's what I've written on grace, okay? The first G for grace, GRACE. But as you can see in the title of today's live, I'm making it GRRACC. And the E's not really kind of there, but it is there. So, grace. The G stands for gentle. I want you to think of the word gentle as in like having a gentle touch versus having like a very harsh or um I don't know, being very grabby. You know, what is a gentle touch like? You know, when somebody gently touches you, or when you gently touch, I don't know what you would gently touch, like a kitten or something, right? It doesn't mean you're not delivering the message. The it's the way you're delivering it. So G stands for being gentle as opposed to heavy-handed. That's the word. Being heavy-handed. And I do know that there's a time and place for just being like, boom, that's garbage. You're full of shh, you're full of crap. But then when you're speaking to someone, can you be gentle about it? Can you, and by the way, all of these GRRACCE, this formula, all of them go hand in hand. So part of the gentleness is actually one of the R's, GR. One of the R's is respectful. When you start speaking with respect, that is automatically gentle. The other R is being real, right? So 100% I'm a truth teller and I am still struggling with being honest. I'm still struggling with knowing how to be authentically myself and share that with you, with the world. And I'm still in this like, nebulous form of waiting. I'm waiting for something to congeal and become, but also doing so with attention doesn't really matter. The point here is, in order to be graceful when you communicate, however you're communicating and whatever it is that you're saying, be gentle, be respectful, but be real. Okay? It's so easy to see through lies. And why would you even want to lie? Wouldn't you want to tell the truth? And if you fear that telling the truth is gonna make you lose a friend, or is gonna get you in trouble, or it's gonna whatever, never ever fear that, because if you can be graceful, you can say anything that you believe to be true. Because remember, truth is also just your perception of it, right? So, like, my coach was telling me his perception of me, which I realized is completely not true because he doesn't know me and he acknowledged he didn't know me. But based on the experience he had of me, he said something. He didn't say it with grace though. So that's what we're talking about today. So number one, to be gentle. How to be gentle? By being respectful and maintaining the truth, right? Still being real. The next part is so key and it's missing from so many instances of communication. And the A in grace stands for attentive. Be attentive. One of the best speakers, the best truth tellers I know of is Abraham Hicks, Esther Hicks, right? When she talks, when she responds to the questions that are asked of her, she asks questions. She wants to get to know, and she has this great thing that a lot of great communicators do, and I do too, is when I talk to my clients, I repeat what they said and I ask them, so let me just confirm whether I understood you correctly. Are you saying, and then beep, 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 beep. You just basically repeat what they said. And you make sure through the body language that you observe, through the hesitation you might be observing, make sure that they're agreeing, yeah, 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 Nandini, you heard me correctly. Okay, so being attentive in itself is a huge sign of respect, and it helps you Be real. Because then you're actually responding to that person as opposed to your own idea of what that person is presenting or sharing or your own perceptions, your own biases, right? Try to be attentive. Really be attentive. Really listen to them. And of course, repeat things back to make sure that you have genuinely understood what it is they're saying. That's a great, great part of being graceful. The next is the letter C, or in my case, two C's. The two C's are be calm and compassionate. When you are calm, you're creating an energy for others also to be calm. And when you show compassion, and you can show that through your attentiveness, through the attention that you are paying them, you can show that compassion. Through nodding, you can show compassion. Through your patience and not talking over them, you can show compassion. These are small bits of compassion. They're not like the full compassion. Compassion is a feeling, right? It's compassion is you feeling a sense of kindness for them as you respond to them with the truth, with the reality, with respect, right? With the gentleness, gentle touch, but you're getting the message across. So calm and compassion, right? Be calm, be compassionate. And the last E is basically all of these things combined create an energy for you to be effective. E, energy for effectiveness. In order to embody that E, the energy. I don't even know if that's an E. Is this an E? Because this is a mirrored thing. E for energy. To have that energy in order to be an effective communicator, both for them and for yourself, to embody this feeling of grace, you have got to be G, gentle, R, real, R, respectful, A, attentive, C, calm, and C, compassionate. Okay? That's the end of today's sermon. Yeah. If you have any questions, I can see that we've got a couple more people watching live, so if you've got any questions, please do leave them below. So, the last thing I'm going to say, unless I get any further questions, is nobody, 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 and I am certain of this because you will agree with me when I say this. I know you're going to agree. Nobody starts a conversation or goes into a conversation expecting to be berated, expecting to be shouted at and to be just racked apart and insulted. Nobody wants that. No one is expecting that, right? There might be a few choosy people who might go to a comedian's comedy show and be like, I'm gonna heckle this comedian and I want to hear what he's got to say. But remember, if you're expecting that or if you want to do that, you're probably doing it for the fun of it, but you wouldn't want to say anything expecting to get lanced in the heart, like being completely cut up. Or the thing that I hate the most, misunderstood, right? So attentiveness can help with the whole misunderstanding part. Okay, so keeping that in mind, embody grace. I know I am. This was an immensely, immensely powerful lesson I got from this coach that I've been learning so much from, is how to respond with grace. Grace, grace, grace. So I don't see any questions in the chat, so I'm just going to leave it here. Thank you very, very, very much for watching. I'm deeply grateful for all of you. My name is Nandini. Please subscribe, share this video. Maybe I could make a shorter version of it. Let me know if you'd want that. If you comment that below, I could take this grace concept and make another video from it. And that's it for now. Have a wonderful weekend ahead, and I'll see you in my next video, in the next live. And I will also share a link to the form where you can ask me questions so that in the next Q&A Friday, you can get your questions answered. Okay? Thank you very much. Bye. Okay, now I've got to end this meeting. Which button should I click? Because I always click the wrong button. No, I cannot click that button. I have to somehow stop